Yo, I wrote this on the stoop of my block. Man, I'm feeling like A when that ninja got shot. Man, I'm walking different, talking different. Loved ones see the difference. I'm untalkative and distant. I guess I'm seeing true colors. Stealing this for suckers. Deport the Jerry Hellers and the Busters. Salute the good fellas and the hustlers.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's the OG Boricua Dandada. I got my son Scrooge McBains with the weirdest name he came up with. And then we got the big homie, Mr. I'ma knock you the fuck out, Nick Gorgeous Laporte, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on. I know it's been a long time coming here, getting on the pod with you guys, and I appreciate all the fighters, appreciate everything you're doing for us. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Nah, I appreciate it. Go ahead, start your first question because this is your first interview. You better not keep that energy up.
All right. Well, now that the match is over against, you and Dunn, what was the game plan to it?
Honestly, pretty much what you saw was what I thought would happen this whole time. I know we talked a little bit before the fights and gave some predictions and things like that. But yeah, I just thought I was a better fighter. I thought I had better balance, better speed, better power, and obviously more experience on the ice or synthetic ice, whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised by the outcome. Obviously, I wanted to get the first round like actual knockout, but the way it went, I was happy. I hadn't fought in 13 years, so it was good to be shake some rust off.
Yeah.
See, it's wild that you said like the 13 years, right? Because a lot of these guys, this is what they do. We've seen them in a few ice wars. There are some veterans that came out there, and nobody seemed to attack the way you guys attacked. And I'm saying you and your brother because, and yes, he's not on obviously, but like you guys took a fight to them where other people try to grapple and make it more of a hockey fight. Where you guys were just going all out. I'm gonna knock you out. And I think a lot of the guys were intimidated. I'm not gonna say the two guys you guys fought were intimidated, and I don't think that they were prepared for that type of. I don't want to say aggressiveness, but like that more of that dog, right? Like one was going into the yard and letting everybody know, listen, this is my fucking yard. You guys can be here, do whatever, say whatever. But anyone they put in front of you was going to have the same treatment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it, man. Like I went into this with no fear. I was perfectly okay to eat some punches, and obviously I wanted to start aggressive. So I caught him with the first couple lefts there, and obviously stunned him, and he never really recovered from that. So that's no knock on him. Like he's a tough guy. Matt kept getting up over and over and over, and even when the doctor stopped it, he was ready to keep going. So I got a lot of respect for him. It just sometimes that's the way a fight goes, man. That could happen to me at any point. That could happen to anybody.
So you're doing the humble thing, and I respect that, right? Like as a fan, this is where we get to say our point of view, and I'll let you ask your second in a minute, your question. But like the way I seen it, and I'm definitely not disrespecting Dunn. I salute him for his service and everything, and I knew he would not quit, right? Like he's a serviceman, and they're trained to keep going until they can't, right? Like you're
Yeah.
fighting until you can't. But I don't think he was prepared for it, and I don't think he expected that type of intensity off the rip. I think that you came in and you let it be known, like Team Canada is not a fucking joke. Like we're here to bang out.
Yeah, definitely. And you watch the previous ice wars, obviously guys had their chance to do their homework, and you see guys like Amesbury and guys like Devine, even Schmitty, those guys that, won the
Yep.
tournaments. And it's kind of the same thing. They were the aggressors. So you watch those guys and they had success with it. So that's kind of what I was trying to do.
Are you gonna ask a question? You're gonna just
I was
yeah,
waiting if I was wondering if he was done or not. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm done. I'm done.
So my second question is like with the event over, right? And can you Team Canada squeaking out the victory versus Team USA? Did you expect to be that close, or like did you think you were like just gonna smoke them?
A few fights definitely went the other way from what I predicted. So I was wrong on a few predictions, but I think we talked about this earlier too, is that it would have been tough to, obviously come out with 8 or 9 wins for one side or the other, right? Like you're in a fight at the end of the day, and I know everybody's confident going in, but I'm actually happy that it ended the way it did, with the last fight of the night actually meaning something. So I
Yeah.
think the fans loved it. Like they being there in person and seeing the broadcast were two different things. So obviously Um, it doesn't really do it justice watching the broadcast days later, but for the people that were in attendance, yeah, it was electric, man. And you saw us hugging Big Snake after we got the win, so we were all pretty fired up about it.
Yeah,
So that
I had like you, Will, Smoke, and Catlin on the wins. That was like my main win squad right there.
you're going to keep talking about that, how you picked the four of them. We've already went over this.
Brownie points, you know.
I'm having
Oh,
I'm
okay.
having I'm having difficulty hearing your son right now. I don't know if he's
Dennis,
talking or not. I can't hear him.
raise your voice.
All
Oh,
right.
I think it's like a
Talk.
technical.
No, I was saying that I had you, Will, and Smoke and Catlin as the winners.
I think you're done. I think he can't hear you. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you, but his video's spinning, so I think he's having some trouble there.
All right. So I'm going to lock you out. You come back in. There you go. So, anyways, um, that's what I was going to ask you because on when you rewatch it, it doesn't sound like it's really loud. And I know that there was a guy there that he's cool with the fourth line voice where you guys are kind of taking a shot with him. One of his peoples were there, and he said the crowd was lit, right? But it didn't come off on that on TV where you could hear the crowd like that.
Yeah, so I think that was again first production for us with this new partnership and everything, right? So there was a lot of kinks to work out, and one of the common denominators that we all talked about after the show was mic levels and music levels and stuff like that. So I think for the next show that'll be something we're going to improve on for sure because you want to try and capture that atmosphere of being at the actual show if you're not there in person, right? And it was loud. And I'm telling you when Snowbeck and Marshy had their fight and they were in that last round, the crowd was going fucking nuts, man. All you could hear was USA,
Yeah.
USA. So they were on their feet, man. So yeah, it was definitely loud. I know, people were late getting to their seats for that first fight, but once it filled up, man, it was a fucking awesome atmosphere to walk out to and to fight in front of. So yeah, it was great.
It's wild. And say something so we can hear you. Can I hear you say something?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Scrooge is back in the building. Let's go.
All right, go ask your question.
So my third question is like with you having like the biggest, beat down of Battle of the Border. Yeah. Do you think that people are gonna have a bullseye on your back now, or?
Um, I would say, there's people going to probably be wanting to fight me and they're going to watch that fight and say, I think I could beat that guy. Again, it wasn't a super clean fight for me either. It's just when I caught him with that first flurry and he went down and then I saw him get cut after the second, I kind of just started swinging a little bit wildly. I don't think I would do that against a different opponent, right? So, but yeah, every time you win in this sport, guys are going to want a piece of you, right? You see it with, like I said, the guys at the top, right? So, I love it, man. I want to keep doing this, and I want to, be in the conversation for being the top heavyweight in the months to come. So, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, I think that. See, I'm in a weird transition with Ice Wars because I know we're just starting off, and I'm like, I know there's divisions because before it was just kind of tournaments and things like that, but now there's divisions when they partner up with BKFC. It's like heavyweight, cruiserweight, so they got divisions, and I'm like, what has to come next is titles, right? Like because you got to fight for something. And I guarantee, you fight for respect and money and all that good shit, but there has to be a belt involved going forward.
Yeah, so that's been something that we've been talking about. The fighters, the announcers, broadcasters, the big brass. We've all kind of been in steady communication here since Saturday, and that's definitely one thing we've talked about is getting a ranking system going. For all the current fighters or the past fighters that are still going to be taking part in it, just get a full out ranking system going. That way people can get to know the fighters, and then as you continue to win, you build up the rankings, and then you can get some title matchups going. And belts are definitely, I think, something we're going to introduce here pretty soon. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff coming. It's just we wanted to hopefully put on a show that the fans enjoyed. I know there's always going to be people on both sides like this is whack, this is whatever, but I think every sport starts like that. If you look back at UFC, there was haters with that. there's even haters like Power Slap is worth $1 billion now, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, if
Yep.
Power Slap can make it work, then I think we definitely have a market here. We just gotta keep pushing through, and yeah, man, we're in the valley right now, grinding through.
So before you ask your question, hold on a second. Um, so, and I agree with you with ranking systems and everything because, and I kind of was just talking. We did a podcast on the other day. We dropped it today, and I had said, listen, like, I don't think people understand right now. Like, and I know you got tipped with the portal thing, which is super dope, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
dope because going forward, the more they see you guys, the more they can become fans of you. Like when somebody comes in, you don't really know them. You're kind of just feeling out the situation. Like it's just like wrestling. New guy comes in, you don't really know him. Takes a little while. Once you get fans. Now all of a sudden the people are invested in you guys, and you guys can make way more money off the top, especially with the portal thing. So I was like, that this portal thing is pretty fire.
Yeah, you know, that's a great, I think Ian Heinisch really pushed for that. And I think Chris Camozzi was involved in that as well. But that's great for us. And like, you know, I finished that fight and somebody tipped me 500 US dollars, which is, you know,
Dang.
it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good way to interact with fighters and also give them some extra money. You know, a lot of these guys are working multiple jobs
Yep.
to be able to fight. But yeah, like one thing I also want to say, going back to your first point about the fans, is like we've got jerseys that we're gonna have, you know, nameplates and numbers on them, so fans can start to get used to that, and you know, buy merch for your favorite fighter, right? You want to wear a '89 Laporte jersey, fuck, it'll be available. So those are all things we're working on. Like I said, Charlie's working around the clock right now. So is Kevin and Zach, all those guys, right? So there's a lot of things in the works. So if everybody can just hang in there and be patient, then we're gonna roll out some great stuff here in the next 6 months.
McBain's my bad. I know you want to ask a question, but he said a number thing, and I got a sick fucking thing with numbers, right?
Yeah.
So I know you're 89, but your brother's 89. He'll take 23, but if you get numbers, will it be like a N. Laporte 89 and a W. Laporte 89? Like, will that be the case?
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen. I played football wearing 88. Kind of a funny story. I got into football and when I first started, I reached out to Des Bryant because I know he was trying to make a comeback in his 30s at the time, get back in the NFL. So I kind of shared my story with him and he wrote me a message back and we kind of communicated a little bit. So I told him I was going to wear 88, you know, to kind of trib Des Bryant and throw up the X when I scored my first touchdown. So I ended up, you know, scoring a few touchdowns that year, and I just stuck with 88. So I mean, if I could grab 88 or 89, that's probably what I'd roll with. But yeah, you'll definitely see like an N Laporte, W Laporte type thing. But yeah, I'm excited to get those jerseys, and you know what I mean. I've had a few fans reach out and ask, are they gonna make those available for us? And I said I would assume that's definitely happening in the next few months here.
Big Bands, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you know, football is my sport, and I know you want to ask a question. So, what sport did you like better? Was it something that you grew up and you were like, I love hockey, or did you really like? Because I seen you play football, like you're quick in your routes and all that. So I was like, I gotta ask when I talked to this brother, which one were you more passionate about, football or hockey?
So I played hockey growing up. Like that was everything for us, right? Backyard rinks,
Yeah,
hockey, 365 days a year. So that was our thing for sure. I actually didn't start playing football until I was 32 years old. So
I seen that.
for me, it hit differently because I had been out of sports and then I was kind of making this comeback and it's something totally new. I worked my ass off to try and, you know, become valid at it. And man, there's nothing like scoring a touchdown. I'll tell you that right now. I know I was kind of a, you know, not the greatest hockey player. I didn't, you know, score a lot of goals or anything like that. I didn't even have a lot of fights when I was playing. You know, my career got kind of cut short. But yeah, man, when you catch a deep ball and run into that end zone, fuck it, there's nothing like it, man. So I would say it's close, but if I had to pick, um, my love's always going to be with hockey. But I'm just saying, there's something to be said about scoring a touchdown, brother.
All right, go ahead, McBain's my bad. I had to ask.
So my next question is, so nicknames aren't given, they're earned. So like this question's for the ladies.
Why? How did he get his nickname? Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
want to know.
Wow, we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say no
So
Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy. I forgot about that.
yeah, yeah. So that was actually my buddy Jared Kiso who wrote Shorzy and Letterkenny. Obviously my character in the show is Gorgeous Gord Gallant. So we were sitting around filming season 5 in March, and I kind of told him I was Marasti was trying to get me into this thing. So he says, "How cool would it be if you just went as Gorgeous?" And I said, I don't know if I don't know if I like that." But he was like, "No, no, no, you got to run with it, man. Especially if you start knocking guys out, it'll be hilarious." So that's kind of what happened, and I think now it's probably going to stick. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
But you definitely should have said no Diddy with that. Like,
I forgot. It just came up in my mind. I was like, how did he get the nickname? And
I was waiting for a pause or a no Diddy or something
yeah,
there.
yeah. I was like, yo, what is he doing right now?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So I know we talked, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Did your music change? Is what I was going to ask you because, you know,
Yeah, so that's a problem with copyright and stuff like that. We're trying to figure out. It's in the works as well. But yeah, some of those songs just weren't available for us to get, and we're definitely working on that. And another thing too, I know you guys probably noticed the interviews after the fights. The music was a little loud. That's
yeah,
something that's going to be fixed for the coming events as well too. There's a lot of little things, like I said, we all caught collectively and made notes for, and you're going to see an improvement on all those fronts moving forward. It's just like I said, there's so many different things to deal with, and again, we're just the fighters, right? We're not the guys that are Charlie and Kevin and Zach and
editing. Yeah.
John and AJ and all those guys are doing all this work, right? So they've got a million different things to deal with, and they've also got hundreds of fighters sending them messages and calls every day. So there's a lot to balance, man. There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be super critical about it. I mean, yeah, like a few guys came out, they had the wrong name and stuff like that. But that's an easy fix. You know what I'm saying? That's not like something you go, oh damn, like what about this? There's a few little things if you want to critique it, but as a whole, like the show was great. Definitely the music was a little high pump volume while you guys are talking. That's an easy fix. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
there was very few guys that when fights were over, and I know that you and your brother and Catlin and a bunch of these guys made quick work, but some of these guys that were super winded, I was like, I don't know if it's their cardio, and I do understand a minute in there fighting with hockey pads and all that shit on you, it weighs you down. So your cardio's got to be a little better because it is heavier than just you throw little trunks on and you bang out. But I do want to see guys develop their mic skills a little better because you could see like a pause and they weren't sure what to say. And I was like, guys, this is a big moment. Like, you should have already prepped. This is what I'm going to say when I win. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt there was no mic skills.
I agree with you. And that's something, obviously, some of these guys don't have any experience with that type of thing. So that's something that they can work on their own time to get prepared for it. Or,
Yeah.
moving in a different direction, we maybe just limit some of the post-fight interviews. And I know cutting down the overall time of the event is something that might be beneficial to the viewer as well. I think we ran like 3 hours, 9 minutes straight, which is a
It was
long time.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think we're looking at for the future events too, just to tighten everything up. But yeah, definitely, guys, if any of the fighters are out there listening to this, it's something you can work on your own. Just get comfortable on the mic. And I'm not saying I'm great with it either. I was kind of a deer in headlights after that win. I was so pumped up, but yeah, it's something you can always work on to get better.
For sure, for sure. What do you got for them?
So I just want to say thank you for your time. And my last question is, who would you like, if you had to pick any like type of hockey player to go in a box with, who would you want to fight?
Like for future events you're talking about?
No, I just mean like actual like NHL like fighting
Well, no.
legends.
I think your question should be: is it like a guy that's not in the league because NHL guys aren't going to be able to do it?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
like,
anybody who's not in the league, would there be like anyone you would want to fight out of them?
Honestly, I haven't even really thought about it. Like whoever they give me, I'm ready to fight, and I'll do my homework on each fighter. I think as we continue with this, every fight is going to get more difficult, and I think what you're going to see is that ultimately we're going to, like every other combat sport, start weeding out the weaker fighters and bringing in more and more, skilled guys or current professional, minor professional fighters, and ultimately we just want to prepare the best show and put on the best fights for the fans. So I think that comes with finding the best guys. And if this thing continues to catch fire like it is, then yeah, you're gonna see the talent go through the roof, man. And hopefully I'm in that mix with everybody.
Nah, don't even. Yo, why are you so humble? Like, don't do the. I hope I'm in the mix right now. We can only go with what we've seen right now, right? Because this is the current. It's you want to know, but if you look at the lay of the lands, right? And like I said, I know somebody there, and they were like, "Yo, the Laportes, man, they were fucking money. Y'all have the look, right? You got the talent, and you're the complete package. And I mean that. Like, if you're like baseball, you're a 5-tool player. Everything you guys have, it works. You guys need to be marketed, right? Because you could talk strong enough, you could fight well enough, and everything you do just feels like money behind you. So you have to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the goal is to stick around with this as long as we can. And if we can fight 5, 6, 7 times a year or more, I don't know what the schedule is going to look like for next year, but I know they're planning on doing this Tampa event in August, and then probably 2 or 3 others. And they're also working on getting into every province in Canada here, getting sanctioned to start having fights in Canada everywhere. So yeah, I mean, I definitely see myself in the long-term plans. And like I said, I joined this thing to not just to come and have a couple fights and whatever, get some clicks on social media. I want to fucking win. I think what you guys saw is just a glimpse of what I'm going to do in the future here. So hopefully, yeah, like I said, down the road we're fighting for belts and winning belts. That's the goal for Will and I, definitely.
And I think that's where fans like us we get to see this on the ground floor, right? Like where he's too young to, like, UFC was already out when he was born, right? Like, so he didn't get to see that come up. We get to see your story, right? And this is the best part, is the chapter's just starting and we're getting it on the ground floor. So we have the opportunity to see you guys and grow and watch your greatness. And at the end of the day, at some point, and I'm being dead serious, not because you're on here, but at some point, somebody's going to sit back and be like, you know what? Those fucking Laporte brothers, man, they built Ice Wars. And I said that publicly. I've said it a few times. And this shit, to me, I think you guys are the faces of the company.
I appreciate that. Like I said, it started with the first 3 shows and all those guys that, took part in that thing and got it an audience and helped grow it. And hopefully all those guys are going to be around here for the coming events. I know I talked to Amesbury. He's planning on I don't know if I should say anything, but yeah, he's planning on being at the upcoming show.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, there's some of those guys, man, like, they're definitely going to be a part of it moving forward. And like I said, we're kind of looking at it now, especially after Saturday. We got together with some of the American guys and shot the shit with all of them, just kind of reviewed the event and stuff. And we're all on the same page, man. We want to just grow this thing as a team. And, if somebody's more marketable, whatever, they'll push them. And, we're all kind of supporting each other. But yeah, ultimately, we all just want to be around doing this for as long as possible, man. Like, how fucking cool is it you can legally assault somebody in the ring and get paid for it while people watch? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like it. It's awesome.
For sure. And I love the name Icebox, right? Like, it just feels like hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not too out of the element where they're trying to lean one direction. It feels like hockey. I'm loving what I've seen.
There was one. Sorry.
Go ahead. My fault.
Sorry, just to cut you off. There was one guy that did a podcast the other day. I saw a glimpse of it. He was just talking about some improvements for Saturday. And I think he mentioned something about a blue and red marking on the boards, just so you can kind of see like which corner. He said something about doing like a blue crease and a red crease on the synthetic. And I said, you know what, that would be kind of nice because some people were confused. There was no markings. I know Team Canada obviously came out, went to the right side. Americans went to the left side. But yeah, people were talking about sometimes they'd be in a scrum and they thought the Canadian guy was throwing punches. And then when they backed up, it was actually the American guy because the jerseys were quite similar, right? We obviously had the different sleeves and different accent color on the jersey. But, that's those little things I think will go a long way to improving the show.
Yeah. So, and my last thing I wanted to say, during your brother's fight, actually right before your brother's fight, I know you said you rewatched it. You guys were actually moving in unison, like before the fight even started. And I was like, yo, these guys, and I was telling my wife and him, I was like, yo, if this was wrestling, Brooks can't go in that corner because it looked like you was ready for your next fight, right? I was like, this is intimidating as shit because both brothers were just moving, swaying. I'm like, yo, these guys are going to kill somebody. You know what I mean? And your brother destroyed him. How was that actually watching that from this side, watching your brother destroy this guy? Because my other guys, and I'm going to put them on blast, they felt like your brother was trying to push him down. And me and him were like, no, fuck that. Like, he was just dropping bombs on him, and he just kept trying to grab him.
Yeah, I mean, just watching it from that side, obviously you have a bird's eye view of what, what Will should be doing in the situation. I was trying to get him to back up because James was going to just keep rushing him, right? I know he had a banged up
Yeah.
shoulder. But yeah, he was coming in close every time. I told Will either throw uppercuts or back up and start throwing some straight hands, and you're going to catch him eventually. You put him to sleep. But I think again, a huge absence from fighting in general, and then having to corner me, all that excitement, and then he's got to go and fucking get all his gear on right away and then come back out, and like there was just a lot of excitement. We talked about it after we watched the fights back and forth afterwards, and he noticed it right away. He's like, fuck, I should have just backed up a little bit and like took control of the fight differently. But like I said, he handled his business. Laporte's are 2-0. The body bag is back in action next weekend in Edmonton, or Enoch, whatever. I'm going to corner him for that fight. He's promised to put on a show for that one. He wants some redemption for that first fight. So that's going to be a fucking banger. I can't wait for that one. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that one goes.
Oh, no, for sure. Because I think we're going to have to wait. I think the first two we got to wait. And I think Wyoming goes live, or it was something like that I heard. So I'm not sure. But listen, we really appreciate your time because we are fans of you. We're fans of your brother. We love what you guys are doing. Like I said, I am honored because to be able to chop it up with you guys and just talk this sport that we're loving. We are super humbled, and thank you for your time. But is there anything you want to plug before you get up out of here?
I just want to say, obviously you guys have done a great job with trying to promote the fighters and getting guys on podcasts and, trying to give us a bit of an audience for this thing. So we appreciate it, man. I know, I don't know how many fighters you guys have actually connected with, but I'll keep sending them your way, especially after this next show. We're going to have some new faces in there, and we're going to try and promote those guys that are going to be sticking around. And yeah, we'll definitely send them your way. I got a buddy that's on the Enoch card, Colton Hollywood Hayes. He's a fucking killer. He's going to be a tough man to stop. So yeah, I'll definitely send him your way after the fight. I'm sure he's going to be 1-0 after that fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. And yeah, just want to say, thanks to Charlie and Kevin and AJ and John and McCarty for judging on the weekend. That was great. Zach is doing a shit ton of work behind the scenes that doesn't always get credit for. Yeah, man, we just want to get this thing, as big as possible and keep doing it, man, because this is fucking great for the fighters to be able to, get on the ice and go to war like that every couple of weeks. So yeah, that's it.
No, listen, we appreciate it. Nick Gorgeous Laporte, the future champion. We out of here. Deuces.